Hey yo, it's your boy Monster Man Rocco.
It's your boy Swagger Rock.
This is Snack the Ripper.
Hey, you rap for those who don't know.
This is Master Ace. You are now rocking with the best. Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man. Radio is like the place to be. I don't fuck strange music, man.
Alright, you are now tuned in to Breaking Records Radio. My name is Alex, and from its inception, hip-hop has brought forward a unique voice offering revolutionary dialogues, racial dialogues, political consciousness, and much more. Though not everything has stayed true to these messages, certain figures in rap's ever-expanding catalog champion these words from day one. Our guests today have been at the forefront of this crusade since the late 1980s, early 1990s, and through their own evolution have continued to raise awareness to problems facing every facet of our society. Not only that, but have managed to do so with the success and recognition that few are privileged to receive. Please welcome to the show, Arrested Development. Man, I said this at the beginning of the call here, but I can't thank you enough for taking the time out to speak to me here today. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to this talk.
That's what's up.
So, for those listening at home, just to clear it up, who's on the line here with me today? Can I get you two to kind of introduce yourselves?
Go ahead, Spesh.
Oh yeah, okay, so I'm Speech. I'm Speech from the crew Arrested Development.
And I'm Configure. I'm not actually in Arrested Development, but I'm executive producer, well, co-executive producer of the new Arrested Development album. And I've been working with Speech for a good few months on this album.
Perfect. And I'd love to talk about the new album as well, but if you don't mind, I'd love to start the conversation talking a little bit about the history of the group before we end up getting started, or at least before we end up kind of moving on to new material. A basic Google search can tell you that Speech and Headliner joined forces in 1988, but prior to that, were you involved in solo pursuits as individual artists? Like, what was happening pre-88?
Well, me and Headliner actually connected in '87, and it was my first time being in Atlanta, living in Atlanta. I was going to school at a school called the Art Institute of Atlanta, and Headliner was too. And his name wasn't Headliner back then. It was Tim Barnwell, and we met up. But prior to that, I was like one of the first people in Milwaukee, which is where I'm from, to do hip-hop records. So I was doing hip-hop records all throughout my high school years in Milwaukee. And, so it wasn't solo stuff, but it was with another group called Attack. And one of my group members was murdered. And it just sort of set me onto a whole path of, doing other types of music, like what I would later call life music.
How would you describe the music that you were doing with Attack?
It was fun hip hop. It was sort of like Run DMC, I guess, or like
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J, exactly, like UTFO. It was sort of in that, like, just doing the art of hip hop. I was a DJ at that time, and I rapped as well, and so I was like, a lot of turntable plus rhyming, and just, it was just good hip hop. It was just good hip hop, fun hip hop.
I heard it the other day. It was dope. It's surprisingly dope.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate
You're welcome.
That. Yeah. It was
peak.
That's right.
Did you guys end up releasing any like 12 inches or 7 inches or anything from that group, or?
Yeah, we did. We actually released 2 records back then. One was called Attack, which is self-titled, and then another was called Attack on the Wax, which was sort of like a EP of 4 tracks. And then I would produce other groups from Milwaukee and artists from Milwaukee back in those days, and we would release singles and all of that. And I had a little record label called VU Records that used to release records, and we would release about 200 at a time, and we'd sell them throughout high schools in Milwaukee. And it was a thing. Like, it was a real popular thing at the time, and everyone was into it, and everyone was proud to represent the city.
That's fascinating. Clearly I have homework to do here. I'm always interested in kind of local, kind of random rap releases from, especially from that era, right? From the mid to late 80s. I think that produced some of the best content that hip hop has to offer.
Yeah, it was really innovative and fun. And like I said, it was just dedicated to hip hop music, dedicated to having a good time.